Take these tips from a top producing agent in real estate today and watch your home go from listed to sold faster than all those homes around you. I'm Jonathan Tiedman, team lead for the Lexico Group, the top producing team at Century 21803. And I'd like to jump right into today's topic, the top 5 things to do before putting your house for sale. These 5 items are in the order they should roughly be completed. While not absolutely mandatory, it's probably a good idea to do some before others. However, with that said, they all do carry the same weight and should all be completed. Do keep in mind, though, these items may not increase your bottom line as much as they do keep you from losing value in your home. These are the intangible things people forget to mention that really set you apart from your competition. All of these items can be outsourced to professionals. That's the route you choose. If that's not your style, we took a trip to our neighborhood Lowe's to see what we could find there. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 things you can do to get your house market ready or to get ready to list. So we're going to take a trip to Lowe's. Everything we're going to talk about today can be procured from your local home improvement store. I just happen to live closer to a Lowe's. Let's check it out. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be the first thing that everybody sees when they're looking at your home on the market, and that's a picture of the home from the outside. So landscaping is a big deal. Lowe's actually has a great deal going on for battery operated or electric lawn mowers where you get a free weed whacker, weed eater, weed whipper, depending on where you're from is what you would call it, but essentially a trimmer. So you get a free trimmer with your purchase of the lawnmower. That could save you about $150. All in all, costing you a total of $350, $330-ish to get that taken care of. All of these services can be outsourced to professionals, but if you are looking to save some money or maybe you just need some stuff anyway, you can take care of it yourself. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if you want those words to be good ones, you'll take some time to invest in your home's yard. Here we have 2 different hedge trimmers, and depending on what you need and how big of bushes that you have need to be taken care of, they do offer different lengths. So you can go from a 16, 18, 24, all the way down to an 8, 10, whatever you're looking for specifically, they'll have it available for you. But bushes are often overlooked. You want to make sure that you get your bushes trimmed. It's really going to give that home much more curb appeal. They're about $90 at Lowe's and can really make a home stand out, especially if you're looking to capture that love at first sight. Nothing stands between a man and his bucket, except for home organization, which is actually so important. They have their own section for it dedicated inside of Lowe's. So let's take a look at how these things can help you sell your house faster. Come on. Decluttering. If you're like me, you probably have junk drawers. That's right, multiple. I have a ton of them. And so one thing you can do is start packing. You can get boxes from Lowe's. You can also get them from any other retail store that you're interested in purchasing from. Home Depot, U-Haul, things like that all have boxes. But if you're at Lowe's specifically, I do want to note that they have different types of boxes. Both of these boxes are small, however, one's heavy duty. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to help you hold those heavier high-ticket items as opposed to a standard box. I do recommend that you label your boxes. That's going to help a moving company, or after you've packed it and have completely forgotten what's in that box that's just marked office, if it's heavy or not. It's going to save your back, and it's going to save your personal belongings from being damaged by putting a fragile sticker right there. Stick it on there. Let someone know. Lowe's does have a large variety of boxes if you are shopping here. They have small all the way up to extra large. Don't make the same mistake I did and just get a whole bunch of medium boxes thinking that, it'll work. Yeah, they're sizable, but you probably are going to need bigger boxes than you expected. They do have different types of packaging, and I do recommend you purchase some packing material to go inside of your boxes. You don't want things to get damaged when they're in transit, so if you use packing material or maybe you use shirts, just fill those gaps. This way nothing's clanking as it's going down the road. Get yourself some of this saran wrap. It's going to help you when it comes to moving your bigger furniture items. It'll help keep doors closed, refrigerator doors closed, and it doesn't actually seal to the desk or the refrigerator itself, so it's not going to leave a mark when you try and take it off after you get there. They do have it in multiple sizes. I've found that the small one works just fine. Let's talk about junk drawers for a second. If you're like me and you have multiple of them, probably not going to go through it. We're just going to move our junk drawer from one house to the next junk drawer in another. So get yourself a clear box. This way you can still go through all of your junk in your junk drawer while you're in transit. But when you get there, you know exactly which one goes right back in that junk drawer. When a home has too much clutter, people can't picture themselves in their new house. Another thing you guys are going to want to take care of is making sure that you are having the home cleaned, whether you're cleaning it yourself, maybe your realtor provides the cleaning service for you. I know that we do, but after owning a cleaning company for over a year, I've found that Miss Meyer's is the best cleaning solution you can use as far as a multi-surface cleaner goes. We've tried all of the other brands, and Miss Meyer's definitely is head and shoulders above the rest. Personal preference, of course, but if you are going to go with a Mrs. Meyer's, I'd recommend going to an online retailer and buying it from concentrate, because the one that you purchase in the store is diluted with water, and so you get a lot more value for your dollar if you buy the concentrated version online. You are going to want to deep clean. According to the Columbia contract in South Carolina, houses are supposed to be conveyed in what's called a broom swept condition, but people are going to be purchasing this house and they're not going to want your juice stain. That's what I always tell people. And so if you're not hiring somebody, you do want to get in there and scrub it down, make sure those baseboards are looking really nice. And they always have a variety of options here as far as scrubbing goes. We're looking to get you every cent your home is worth, and in order to do that, we need to get a little dirty. Another thing we're going to talk about is lighting inside the house. So we came here to the Lowe's lighting section, and I want you to take a look at all of these chandeliers behind me. Every single one of them is going to have their light bulbs turned on because they're trying to sell the chandelier. Now you're trying to sell a house, so you want to make sure that all of your lights are on as bright as possible and that all of them match. If you notice, all of these light bulbs are matching because they're trying to attract a buyer. And we want to do the same thing. It seems simple, it's often overlooked, but it can really make a difference in procuring a buyer for your property. I wanted to take a moment and stop here because I noticed something that maybe you haven't noticed yet, even as I'm talking now, and that's one of these light bulbs is blown out. How long did it take you to see that? Did you even notice it? That's exactly why you want to have your light bulbs changed out. Because if people can't see, if it's not attractive, they're not going to be interested in it. If your light bulbs are different, you want to make sure that you have all of the same light bulbs in. This way they all appear of the same brightness, the same cool tone, the warm tone, whichever you may have. And I actually only stopped here so I could show you another example of this large chandelier behind me that you also might not have even seen because the light bulbs are burnt out on it. Another thing we're going to talk about is doing your finishings or your touch-ups, especially on like trim and molding. So these things can easily be touched up using a paintbrush. You want to make sure that those are taken care of, especially in your bathroom by the light switch. After so many years of living there, people walk in and flip that light switch on, off, and you can actually see where it rubs away the paint on the molding. When you're doing that, you want to get a 1.5 angled brush. And I do recommend investing in a higher end paintbrush just because the frills on the end oftentimes get jumbled and fall off on the cheaper brushes. So it's better just to do it one time and go with a higher end paintbrush. While we're talking about that, I do want to let you know that if you do have any paint dribbles, and this is just a tip that I've learned through the years of doing it myself, use baby wipes if you do happen to get some on the tile or on the paint above the trim or the molding. It does oftentimes wipe it away while it's still wet. Now, if you let it dry, it's going to stay there. But if you get it while it's wet, it'll come off and probably never even see the difference. You might say, John, I've never painted anything before in my life. I have no idea what I'm supposed to use. I got you covered there too. So you want to make sure that you're getting an interior paint. And if you're doing molding and trim, more often than not, it's going to be a semi-gloss. And if you're looking at all of these, they look very similar. Now this can right here, you can see actually does say semi-gloss on the label. And so that's how you know you have the right paint for the job. There are probably 3,000 different variations of white though, and that's where it's going to come in, where you want to bring your paints in. If you have a piece of molding that maybe comes off, bring it in so that you can bring it to a Lowe's Professional or whatever store you're at so they can match that paint for you. Because if you have a high crest white 7 years ago, you might not have a high crest white today. And you don't want to go putting that fresh paint on old paint. It's going to stand out and make it look worse than it did when it was wiped away. Right in line with your finishings and touch-ups, we are going to take a look at wood. If you have wood floors or wood trim, you do want to get a stain that's going to match the wood color, and you can actually see they have different colors right there to help you match it. And then if you are a little bit more handy, you may even go as far as to get a wood filler to help repair some of that damages, especially in high traffic areas. It can really make a difference when someone walks into a high traffic area if they see all those scratch marks or scuff marks from it being such a high traffic area versus it looking like a nice new floor. Now, I will tell you, when you're using a stain, if you're not sure that it's the right color, go to an inconspicuous spot on the floor in the corner somewhere where no one's going to see it, and test it out before you put it in that high traffic area. The industry is cooling from where it was mid-2022. I highly encourage any seller to take these steps to make sure they're getting the most from their listing. Don't take this article as the only thing that needs to get done in order for you to get top dollar for your home. Call your realtor as often as you need to make sure you get everything on your checklist completed. If you are considering selling and want the world's most recognized and respected brand to assist you, click the description below and myself or a member of my team will reach out to help get you started. Best of luck with your upcoming home sale. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you guys have any further questions. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.